No, I was not the first woman governor of Texas. Well, in the 20s, there was Pa Ferguson, who was governor, and Pa was married to Ma, and Pa died. And Ma became governor. Now, she was the one, when asked about bilingual education, who said, if the English language is good enough for Jesus Christ, it's good enough for everybody. And an oncology fellow which is not one of our full-time faculty, but someone who's in training here, specializing in oncology, came into my room. I want to apologize, but we can't find your records. Could you tell me what kind of cancer you have? Toughness? Well, we was in West Jordan, Utah, and this bull shoved my face right through the metal chutes and tore my face all up. And took me to the hospital. It took me 5 hours sewing up my face, and then the next day they straightened out my nose. And I had a rodeo that night, so I didn't want them to put me under anesthesia or whatever, however you say that word. And when they straighten out, so I told them to do without it. And when they straighten out your nose, they take these 2 metal rods and shove them up your nose and work their way up. And it felt like it was just going out through my brains and out the top of my head. And everybody said it should have killed me, and they didn't even knock me out. It's just this force. I mean, downhill skiers drive 120 miles an hour. I mean, that's why it's, with this whole doping thing, it's ridiculous to say to them, oh no, don't do that, you might hurt yourself. Tell a downhill skier, tell an Austrian gold medalist downhill Olympic skier, oh no, you don't want to take a little EPO, you might hurt yourself. Are you kidding me? I don't run for the phone anymore. And you know, when Esther was in the nursing home, she couldn't converse with me. But when I was leaving, I turned to go to the door, and she said, I see you still got that big ass. And I thought to myself, that's the last thing my sister said to me. I flew in, you know, you go into a crouch, and at this certain moment, you go into a flying horizontal X and land on, and I made the fire as big as his torso part. So basically, big enough that you could see the fire, but not so big that it went outside my body, because I would just smush the oxygen out of it. And I landed on it, and unbeknownst to me, I had been rehearsing, and I had some sterno on my torso. So when I went like, whoom, like that, and I looked under, I go, ooh, uh-oh, I'm on fire, and ooh, I smushed it, and I go, oh, that's not gonna happen, and I stood up, and I was literally on fire. And I kind of went like this, and then I was like, oh my God, this is the fastest phenomenon. I've never seen anything move that fast, be that fast. You know, just like seconds that were stretched. And the thing is, everybody in the room was looking at me like, oh my God. But nobody did anything. Yeah. Isn't that fucking crazy? Did nothing. And one of my friends was even continuing to take pictures. Danita, my friend.
In this panel, me and my dad in a diner.
Where's Betty?
She went home. Lorna's on now.
Caption, my dad and I both grew up in the same small Pennsylvania town.
Oh.
And I didn't know it, but both of us were gay.
Where's your beret?
And we were exactly alike.
Put it back in. Keeps the hair out of your eyes.
So what a crew cut.
And we were nothing alike.
Do not take it out again.
Which was it, Dad?
Get Lorna. Need coffee.
You didn't notice her at first, Dad, but I did. I saw her the minute she walked in. I'd never seen a woman who looked like her. It was like I was a traveler in a foreign country who runs into someone from home. Someone they've never met before, but somehow just recognizes.
Someone just came in the door, like no one I ever saw before. I feel. I don't know where you came from. I wish I did. I feel so dumb. I feel your swagger and your bearing and the just right clothes you're wearing, your short hair and your dungarees and your lace-up boots and your keys. Oh, your ring of keys. I thought it was supposed to be wrong, but you seem okay with being strong. I want. You're so. It's probably conceited to say, but I think we're alike in a certain way. Your swagger and your bearing and the just right clothes you're wearing, your short hair and your dungarees and your lace-up boots and your keys. Oh, your ring of keys. Do you feel my heart saying hi? In this whole luncheonette, why am I the only one who sees you're beautiful? No, I mean handsome. Your swagger and your bearing and the just right clothes you're wearing, your short hair and your dungarees and your lace-up boots and your keys. Oh, your ring of keys. I know you. I know you. I know you.
Now, my hands have been slapped a lot in my life. Now, I know most people think you can tell more about someone, by the palm of their hands, if you can read the like freeway markings of love and lifelines. But I actually think you can learn much more about someone if you can read the back of their hands, if you can see that faint imprint, the echo of the times in that person's life when their hand has been slapped. Now, my hand got slapped really, really, really hard, as it often did when I would reach in the cookie jar for one more cookie. My hand got slapped really, really hard when I was a senior in high school in Southern California. And my boyfriend of my senior year, who went to a different high school, he was queer bashed outside of a gay bar in Garden Grove, California. And these fucks yelled at him, "Die, faggot, die, faggot, die," as they stabbed him 9 times in the neck with an ice pick. My hand got slapped really, really hard when certain fucked up right-wing senators and congresspeople in Washington took my NEA grant away and took away the right of any queer person in America to raise their creative voice with 1 cent of our tax money. My hand got slapped really, really, really hard when so many of my lovers and friends died of AIDS. My hand got slapped really hard in 5th grade, when my mom discovered I had cut holes in my pockets of my maroon cords, so that all day long during 5th grade I could put my fingers through those holes and rub my little 5th grade dick and balls while we studied English or something, Now, I don't don't think this has hurt my command of the English language. You know, I've written 2 books. I'm a professor at UCLA. I speak English quite well, I think. I even know what a gerund is, okay? It's a verb used as a noun. You know that, okay? So this didn't hurt me at all. But my mom, she confronted me. She made me look at those cut pockets, and she confronted me with my sin, and she made me hold my hands out. She said, "You dirty, dirty boy, don't fiddle, don't fiddle, don't fiddle. Fiddle, God." I'm always getting caught red-handed. Okay?
I can't remember a time in my life when I haven't been writing something. My mom used to say I gave her such pains when she was pregnant, I must have been putting pen to paper in the womb. I wish my ability to give people pain stopped there. Unfortunately for me, the primary victim, for as long as I can remember, is myself. I've spent most of my life fighting anxiety. This is the story of the time when it won.
B. OB again.
C minus.
Sherry, this paper was just outstanding. Do you mind if I make a copy of it and use it as an example of how this assignment should be done?
Not at all.
And tell you what, if you don't have class after this, we can meet in my office, make a copy, and talk about your grad school
Oh,
application.
sure, I have time.
Okay, see you then.
You forgot to do the reading for class. It doesn't matter how good your paper is if you haven't done the reading. When are you going to start your paper anyway? You should have started it 2 weeks ago. And are you sure this is original research? It sounds pretty obvious to me. Maybe somebody's already done it. You'd better go back to the library. If you can't handle this, you'll never get into grad school. I need to start writing. I never get anywhere until I start writing. You need to sleep. You know you get sick if you don't sleep. That sounds like something a high schooler would write. Oh, really? Is that the best you can do? Oh, you should have just slept. Weeks went by like this. The more anxious I got, the less able I was to do anything. I couldn't focus on reading for any of my classes, including the Austin seminar. Every night, I would sit down, try to write, and wind up spending hours only to end up with a blank page. 2 weeks out, I knew I was in serious trouble.
You finished your paper yet? Yeah, this time I'm determined to get it done or else I take to the writing lab. For once, I want Dr. Austin to like what I've written.
I finished my first draft last night.
Good for you.
And let me guess, you finished yours 2 weeks ago?
They're all finished ahead of you. I'm still working on mine.
Okay, so before we get to our discussion of Pride and Prejudice, how are all of your papers going? Has anyone found anything in their research that they'd like to discuss?
Put your hand down. Are you sure no one's disproving your thesis? You don't want her to think you're stupid, do you?
Sherry?
Oh no, that's okay. I think I need to do a little bit more research before I try to articulate it here.
Okay. Well, if anyone needs any assistance or has any questions, feel free to come to my office hours.
Don't even think about it. She said she's looking forward to your paper, and you haven't even started it yet. If you go to her for help, she'll know you're lazy, and then you'll never get into grad school. So I didn't talk to her. I didn't want her to know that I wasn't handling things well, that I needed help. Instead, I continued to fall further and further behind.